In Search of Great Stories presents
D-R-A-N-A drama.
Spoil the hell out of this movie.
What happened to the tow truck, Winston?
There's a lot of meta here. Let's get to watching great movies.
Welcome to Movie Lover 22.
What's up? It's Soupy. My candle is lit. I am locked in. We have some stuff to talk about today. I'm pretty irritated. Oh, okay. So here's the rundown. Today, sorry if I sound a little nasally. I am getting over something, and it's the fucking news. How's that for... Does that even count as a segue? I don't know. Anyway. Alright. So, some shit has been going down over the last week. We have Warner Brothers shit in the bed. We have Quentin Tarantino saying some out-of-pocket stuff. And that's why I'm sitting here right now. Let's talk about the old QT first. And Quentin Tarantino is not being a cutie. He's being a dick, honestly. Quentin Tarantino was talking about actors that he views as being exceptionally subpar. And the top two examples he used were Paul Dano and Matthew Lillard. And Paul Dano, he said that There Will Be Blood would be a perfect movie if not for the presence of Paul Dano, because he is such an incredibly weak actor. And, you know, I gotta be honest, I have never seen There Will Be Blood. I tried once, and I got so fucking bored that I just wound up never finishing it. Like, I think I got maybe an hour in once, and I just never picked it up again. And I said that to somebody, and they were like, you know, I kind of get it. It is a slow burn. And to that person, they only wanted to watch it once. They said it was very good, but they only wanted to watch it once. So I've just never felt compelled to return. That being said, that does not disqualify PTA as a great director, or Daniel Day-Lewis as a phenomenal actor, or Paul Dano. Because we're talking about Paul Dano, he is tremendous. Definitively tremendous. My first experience watching Paul Dano was in an indie movie called Ruby Sparks, which was made by fucking somebody and something else. Valerie and Dayton? Hold on, let me look this up, because that is not quite right. Oh, wait, don't play. Stop. Sorry, my Hulu started playing. Ruby Sparks. Directed by Valerie Ferris, Jonathan Dayton. So I had the first name of one, the last name of the other one. And I saw that in theaters, and I'm glad I did, because it is a 5 out of 5 movie for me. It is so fucking good. And no notes. That's not true. I have one note. Because it has a similar ending as 500 Days of Summer, which is, in 500 Days of Summer, why would, after having your heart broken by somebody named Summer, would you really go out with someone named Autumn right after that? And in Ruby Sparks, would you really go out with someone who looks exactly like the person that you basically abused and controlled? That just, like, as much as, you know, you think about, like, oh, I'm dating for me, not for what other people would think of that. In that scenario, I would 100% be thinking, what would someone else think of this situation? That being said, anyway, watch Ruby Sparks. It's fantastic. And Paul Dano is monumental in that film. Paul Dano is monumental in Swiss Army Man, in The Batman, in Prisoners in Little Miss Sunshine, which was his first collaboration with Valerie Faris and Jonathan Dayton. I saw that a couple years after I saw Ruby Sparks. Fucking fantastic movies. And he is one of the reasons it is so fucking good. All of those movies. Little Miss Sunshine, the movie is Paul Dano. And, you know, the others. But he is like the emotional crux of that film. He absolutely is. Prisoners, a little bit of a not smaller role, but more reserved than the rest of the characters on the screen. I don't know what the fuck Quentin Tarantino has been watching, but he is not paying attention. And I will say, Tarantino is one of my favorite writers. Always has been. My first movie of his I ever saw was Inglourious Bastards. And to this day, that is basically my favorite movie, if I have to pick one. And there is no denying the talent there. Okay. But he does have other hot takes. There is, floating around on the internet, there's the Hollywood Reporter roundtables. And one of them is the Directors Roundtable. And it has Quentin Tarantino and... blanking on everybody else's fucking name. Who made Alien? Good Lord, am I that... Okay, all right, hold on. THR Roundtables Director Denis wait, no, he's not on that one. Ridley Scott. Was there more than one? Because I want to watch that one. Hold on. All right, it's Quentin Tarantino, Ridley Scott, Danny Boyle, Alejandro, it's waiting for it to load. Shut up. Alejandro Inarritu and David O. Russell and Tom Hooper. I knew I was missing somebody. On a table where Ridley Scott and Danny Boyle are sitting, Quentin Tarantino is the most interesting person in the room. He has the most jaw-dropping stuff to say. Honestly, fuck David O. Russell, because he's got other shit going on that keeps him from entering my wheelhouse. Okay, there's a really great documentary as well. My point here with bringing this up, Quentin Tarantino has some fantastic things to say. I love hearing him talk about film. He's one of those people where he opens his mouth and he's talking about the magic of film and storytelling, and you gotta like, yes, I want to listen to more of this. Please, thank you. Tell me the struggle you went through, how you overcame it, and what you wanted to do as a result of that. That's fantastic. And then there's other times where he just drops this head-ass take. And most of the stuff that he says that I'm like, no, I disagree, is when he's talking about film versus, like, celluloid versus digital filmmaking. And he says that digital is like a bastardization of film. To the point where he hates digital projection in movie theaters. He thinks it's similar to watching a DVD at home. And I say it fucking ain't. And I actually have recent experience with this. I went to go see Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair a couple nights ago, and it was fantastic. Kill Bill is not my favorite Tarantino movie, but you know, if you have an opportunity to go see Tarantino in theaters, you make that opportunity happen. And I have not verified it yet, but I'm pretty certain, unless they mimicked it, Kill Bill, Whole Bloody Affair, projected on celluloid. And I did not like... Oh, am I right? The picture flickered so much, and it's been so long since I have seen a film projected picture. It reminds me of the mistake I made years ago of going to see the 3D Green Hornet at Landmark Theaters, and how much I hate the dark glasses and all that stuff. But and the flickering picture of frame to frame to frame, like it's so distracting for me in the theater. And Tarantino loves that. He hates the smoothness of a digital projection, and I can't understand that. Like, no, it's not the same thing as watching a DVD at home. That, like, maybe your home theater is so bonkers, Quentin, that it might as well be, but mine ain't. I have a fucking Roku TV and okay surround sound, like pretty good surround, like as far as surround sound goes, like it's pretty good for a starter, right? And I'm getting brain farts trying to process why you don't like this, and you're discounting, as far as like the filmmaking aspect of it with digital, you're discounting artists like David Fincher and Steven Soderbergh, who are some of the best fucking directors of the last 20, 30 years. Because I can't remember how long Steven Soderbergh's been working, but David Fincher's been working for 30 years. And it's just been fucking wild to have this new awful take from Tarantino. Like, he has awful takes. Everybody's going to have awful takes, right? What's his face? Dark Knight, Memento, Inception. Head of the Directors Guild. The fuck is his name? Dunkirk. You know who I'm talking about. He has a similar opinion as Tarantino on digital versus celluloid filmmaking. And you know what? He's wrong about that too, for the exact same reason. Like, I think there is something to be said for, I remember, is his name Michael? Hold on. Dark Knight director Christopher Nolan. I thought it was Michael. I remember his go-to director of photography talking about exposure levels when shooting on a digital camera as opposed to a film camera. And like, yeah, absolutely. There are benefits to both. Absolutely. It's why Michael Mann shot Collateral on early digital filmmaking cameras. So like, there's absolutely something to be said, but to write off this whole thing, to write off Paul Dano and Michael Lillard as weak, uninspired performers is just insanity. There's, like, there are actors that you can say, hey, you're not very good, obviously. But Paul Dano is not on that list. Matthew Lillard is not on that list. Did you watch the fucking Descendants? Did you watch Scream? I watched Scream for the first time within the last 6 months. It was fantastic. I had a great time. Let's look up other Matthew Lillard stuff, because I haven't seen all of his stuff. Okay, so Scream, Scooby-Doo. I never saw Scooby-Doo. Scream, 7, Five Nights at Freddy's. Haven't seen that. 13 Ghosts. SLC Punk on my list. I will watch it, Johnny. I will. I'm gonna make a night of it. We got to plan for it. All right. I haven't seen most of Matthew Lillard's stuff, but what I have seen, he's great. I think it's insane to throw someone like Matthew Lillard out there, because he's clearly very good. And that's not even to talk about, like, how nice of a person he seems outside of that. Like, you watch clips of him meeting fans of Shaggy at conventions and stuff, and clearly he's like a gem of a person, as much of a gem that a Hollywood staple like he could be. All right, let's see. Hold on. There's a thing. Did this? So it looks like Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, was projected in certain places on digital. And interesting. At the showing I attended, it had the additional oddity of being a computer-animated Fortnite short projected as part of a 70mm celluloid plane. Let's say, also, something wild that happened that I think makes Tarantino a little bit worse is at the end of Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, after the credits roll, there's this little animated thing of drinking my Starbucks, which I only got because it was free. A little animated thing of concessions walking and encouraging the audience to head out and grab some food on their way out for their friends. And then following that was Kill Bill Chapter 5.5 or something like that. Yuki's Revenge. And I was like, the hell is this? Who's Yuki? And while I'm sitting there watching this strange 3D animated off-putting thing, like immediately it clearly was so out of place. Google told me that this is a short film directed and written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, depicting Go-Go's sister seeking revenge on the bride. But and I was like, okay, whatever, maybe. And then I saw, of all things, everyone, it's a Fortnite crossover. And you know what? I looked at the person I was with, and I went, what the fuck is this? Why is this here? We can leave now. And leave we did. I watched 2 minutes of it tops and decided I don't care. And I think that's one of my favorite things as someone who enjoys film is, long ago someone told me, oh, as someone who's so into film, like, you have to be open to watch anything. Like, and you have to watch just about anything. And my take is, no, I don't. I am open to watching a great many things. However, if what I see is so fucking distasteful and terrible and doesn't appeal me at all, doesn't strike me at all, or is a Fortnite crossover in a Quentin Tarantino movie, I'm sorry, that is a wrong choice. And there are wrong choices. There are things that can be objective in film. You know who loved the Fortnite crossover? People who play Fortnite. And the only saving grace that you can give that is just that Quentin had written it ages ago, roughly around 2004, I'm pretty sure. And he cut it out because it just didn't quite fit in, and he always wanted to do something with it. That's great. I'm glad you were able to do something with it. I hope you like it. But it is now on your record, Quentin, that you wrote and directed a Fortnite short film. And you know what? As much art and creativity and knowledge of the craft it takes to make 3D animation, to contribute to Fortnite and make a playable game that millions of people think is great fun, you know, there's just something that devalues the craft of film when you go to Fortnite. You just instantly lost me. instantly lost me. I found nothing interesting, let alone redeemable, about having a Kill Bill Fortnite crossover. You fucking lost me. In other news, the other big news. So Warner Brothers is going out of business. And as much as that fucking irritated me, because a year and a half ago, Warner Brothers made the decision to shut down Rooster Teeth. Now, I didn't care a lot about Rooster Teeth as a whole, but there were a couple productions that they were involved in and produced that meant a hell of a lot to me. The utmost of which is the Fuckface podcast. That got me, like, that show brought so much joy to me in the time that it was on. And I connected a lot with what they did and their personalities. It was my favorite parasocial thing, right? And Rooster Teeth as a whole just wasn't quite bringing in the profit that Warner Brothers Discovery had wanted, so they just shut down Rooster Teeth. They gave them about a month to wrap up everything, and now it's gone. It's being revived by somebody, one of the OG founders and stuff, but and thankfully Fuckface never really died. They rebranded as the Regulation Podcast, and it is still my favorite show. That being said, Warner Brothers has now decided that they are no longer profitable and they're selling. And then along comes Netflix. And if you know me, if Netflix comes up in a conversation, and someone's like, "Oh, have you seen X, Y, or Z? It's on Netflix." I'm usually like, "Nah, I don't have Netflix." "Oh, why don't you have Netflix?" Honestly, fuck Netflix is usually my go-to. And just as a quick one line, why I hate Netflix. Netflix makes so much content. You could never watch it all in a month. Even if you love watching stuff as much as I love watching stuff, you can't watch it all. And even though they make all this stuff, they only ever promote like their top 3 shows. Something the other day I just saw it in the middle of this story. It's like, oh yeah, Netflix, who has properties such as Stranger Things and Wednesday and like one other thing that I've never heard of. Like, cool, you care about 2 properties. Only 2. Like, those are your biggest things. You didn't even give a shit about Mindhunter, which was fucking fantastic. But no, you only have the few that you actually would call your children or whatever, I love all my children equally. I don't care about Mindhunter. Like, that's what we're doing here with Netflix. So fuck Netflix. And they, hearing that Warner Brothers is selling, they're making moves to buy it. And what's infuriating about it is that Netflix is a company that constantly complains that they're not making that much money, that they don't have that much money to go around, that they don't have the money to do X, Y, or Z. So therefore, they must lay off hundreds of people. I can't remember if it's thousands, but I'm going to keep it at hundreds to be a little conservative. They're laying off tons and tons of people, and then they're upping your subscription. And I fucking hate streaming already. I already enjoy buying records and 4K copies of movies and stuff and Blu-rays. Like, I've been doing that since I was in high school. And so to add in streaming and how irritating the whole thing is, where the entire original point was you can cut off your cable. You can cut the cord and only pay $10, $12, whatever, to get all these great things. And now you have to pay for like 7 different subscriptions to get everything you want to watch. Fuck you. So they have all this stuff. They're complaining about not making enough money. And then they whip out that fat ass wallet and they're making moves to buy Warner Brothers for $82 billion. Fuck you, Netflix. The worst. I hate that. I hate that shit. We don't have money, but we'll whip it out when we want to acquire something. And to borrow from a Quentin Tarantino level dumbass take, the CEO of Netflix has made zero moves to still put movies in theaters, to still make content that will appear on disc so you can own it. The streaming model goes back to being as infuriating as like Adobe. Oh, you can't own any of their programs. You can't own Photoshop. You can't own Premiere. Apple, you can't own Logic or Final Cut anymore. Those are subscriptions now. You can't own that shit. And that's such a slap in the face to the consumer. You have to acquire it the only way that we say how. And if you can't do that, fuck you. Sorry. Not sorry. We could, but we're not going to. Netflix did put something out on physical media not that long ago, but I can't remember what it was. And it was something that I don't want to buy, so it kind of doesn't matter. And the CEO of Netflix has said things like, "Oh yeah, consumers really don't care about going to the movies anymore." All right, well, when you only give me a week to go see something, I'm gonna miss it. I got to plan for that. I'm an adult. I'm in my 30s. I have to plan for that. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's who cares about the silver screen like that? My son, who's an editor, watched Lawrence of Arabia on his phone." My favorite example of why higher quality of a picture and being in a theater is, I saw Joker on DVD, like Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I rented it from Redbox because it was $1. It's cheap. My ex at the time, I heard this is a great movie. Let's watch it. I'll get it from Redbox. So I go and I rent it. I bring it home. I bring it home. I put it on. Thought it was great. And then I wanted to watch the staircase scene again, the iconic dancing moment. And I looked it up on YouTube, and YouTube had it in 4K. And I watched that, and my literal reaction in the moment, and I think I was watching it on my phone. What's on my phone? My laptop? Did I use YouTube on the TV? I can't remember. Whatever it was 4K. And even that one scene, I had a moment of, I still have not seen this movie, because the DVD to 4K upgrade in that one scene was so big that I could not help but feel that I have not seen that movie. Did someone write on my Starbucks cup? Did they? No. They did. Oh, it's not like personalized. They're just writing what the fuck drink it was. Never mind. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that just sorry, you're buying Warner Brothers, which has Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, and you're getting all the A24 stuff now, and you have no intention or desire or the inclination that theatrical releases are still a good idea. Fuck off. And people are like, oh, no, they're correlating a lack of theater attendance as a lack of interest. I'm sorry, have you seen the movies that have been coming out? This year is the most I've gone to the movies in years, and it's honestly because of the summer releases and because I have friends that I like going to the movies with. And sometimes they're like, hey, we should go see this. And I'm like, we should not go see that. All right, I guess we're going to go see that. And, you know, I have a good time because I enjoy spending time with those people. But a lot of times the movies just aren't very good. I had high hopes for some of the films that came out this year, and they just wound up mostly being disappointing. The one great movie I have seen in theaters this year, two of them, well, Superman, because I fucking loved it. As a not Superman fan, loved it. And then on Thanksgiving, I went to go see Eternity with Elizabeth Olsen and Miles Teller and is it Callum Turner, I think. And that was a fantastic movie. I loved it. And that is the greatest, I'll say, Eternity is the greatest original IP movie that I've seen this year. It was great. You should go see it. And then this dimwit, this dim bulb is like, nah, people hate going to the movies now. Like, it's the same thing as watching it at home. What are you talking about? I'm sorry that you have no interest in enjoying film. Like, okay, watching Alien Romulus at home, nothing like seeing it in the theater. Watching Superman at home, nothing like seeing it in the theater. Let me break out my little book of movie ticket stubs. I have seen so many good things in theaters. Even just, I participate, because thankfully a local theater participates, in flashback cinema. You know what I've seen in flashback cinema? I've seen movies that I never got the chance to go see in theaters. I've seen Inglourious Basterds in theaters. I saw The Sound of Music 2 weeks ago. And seeing that on the big screen was better than every single instance of me viewing that at home, because I wasn't alive in the fucking 1960s. And in that theater was a gentleman who had seen it in the theater in 1965. And I'm sure that was an incredible experience for him then and now. I saw Back to the Future in theaters a few weeks ago. Corpse Bride. I saw, let me go through my thing. I saw Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I was alive in 1989. It's The Lost Boys. I can watch all of these at home. Awesome. But to see them in the format that it was fucking made to be seen. I'm not a big Denis Villeneuve guy. But I adore Prisoners. So there is that. You can't see Dune how it was meant to be seen at home. If you watch Dune at home, which I haven't, I've never seen Dune or Dune Part 2, you can't see them the same way because it was filmed a specific way. They were filmed for IMAX. So to watch them at home, you are watching an incomplete way of this thing by default. And then this Netflix fuckface is like, no, it's basically the same. It's basically the same. Who cares about sitting? Who cares about paying for this? For the same cost of a ticket, you can watch downgraded, low-quality pictures on my screen. Fuck off. Now, in slightly better news, Paramount, of all people, Paramount is a studio you never hear of anymore. Because what are they even doing? When was the last time you saw the Paramount stars soar across the lake and then encompass the mountain like a halo? In all honesty, not that long ago, because I love Mission Impossible and rewatching those. Speaking of which, I'm probably going to watch one of those today, now that I'm thinking about it now. And Paramount, who they themselves have laid off a lot of people this year and probably last year, they didn't like Netflix going for the kill because of their anti-theatrical release sensibilities. And instead of doing $82 billion, which, by the way, was not all cash, some of that was in stock, And so the Warner Brothers people would not necessarily be making as much money as they could. Paramount stepped in with, I think, $102 billion, all cash, and it is an actual, real-life hostile takeover. And you know what? That's better. That is better. I hope Paramount gets it. I don't give a fuck about shareholders. But if Paramount steps in as a studio that otherwise I generally don't care about, but if Paramount steps in, we will get movies. And we will get film. And there is a little bit more hope for the future of nights out at the movies that are actually worth spending money on. And I hope they get it. It's not perfect, because it won't be. It can't be. But by default, definitively, it will be better for artistic creation and actual art making it out there on the silver screen. And that will forever be more valuable than whatever Netflix has to offer or other streaming services. And honestly, that would get me. You know what? I would be more inclined to get Paramount Plus after that. I honestly would. As much as I hate streaming, I'm already toying with it, honestly, currently, just because they stream Championship League games so I can watch my team. But any studio that isn't Netflix is better. Because fuck Netflix. Thank you for watching. What the fuck is wrong with me? Thank you for listening to this episode of Movie Lover 22. You can follow me on Letterboxd under the name Movie Lover Show. You can keep up with what I'm watching and how I feel about it. You can send me any messages to movielovershow@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram at SuperQuest, SOUPER Quest. Feel me. Don't feel me, please. Hands off. Feel free to leave the show a review and tune in next time when I finally talk about Undeclared.